So today we're going to continue with the part one of the driver's attitude with it the other time. It is necessary for every driver before you get behind the steering wheel, you need to check yourself, your fitness, and that is what we're going to look at. So today our lesson is supposed to be is fitness to drive. What is fitness? Fitness simply refers to the healthy aspect of the driver. In driving, it is necessary for every driver to know how physically, mentally, psychologically fit he or she is before getting behind the steering wheel. So, as I define fitness to be the healthy aspect of the driver. And have a look at what we mean by fitness to drive. Let's look at the types of fitness. Types of fitness. We have physical fitness, we have mental stroke psychological fitness, and we also have sensory fitness. These are three basic types of fitness of a driver. And every driver, before you get to the steering wheel, you must be able to check whether you are physically, mentally, psychologically fit. So we are going to look at what we mean by physical fitness. Physical fitness simply refers to the able body of the driver. The driver should not be a person with disability. He should be somebody who is not physically challenged. He should have two hands. He should not have difficulties in seeing. He should not have difficulties in walking. So in physical fitness of a driver, we simply refers to a person without disability. So, but it doesn't mean that if the person is a person with disability, he cannot drive. We have what we call disability-friendly vehicle, which are mainly for person with disability. But later, we shall look at disability-friendly vehicle. Today, we are looking at the able body of the driver. That means the physical aspect of the driver or the physical fitness of a driver should be the able body of the driver. The driver should not be a person with disability. In here, if we are going to drive, when you wake up in the morning, check yourself. Whether you have a muscle pull, you are physically fit, you have a headache or not, you must check all your physical body to see whether you are fit before you get behind the steering wheel. And when you get behind the steering wheel, ask yourself, am I mentally and psychologically fit? If you are not mentally and psychologically fit, then don't drive. Park the car, look for a boat or Uber or Yango or Trotro or taxi and join to your destination or to your place. So with the mental fitness, which is also the same thing as the psychological fitness, here we refers to the person's ability to reason very well. Some people may not be like they are mad people, all right, but maybe something that trigger you or make your anger to come out will make you lose mentally fit or psychologically fit. If I'm angry, my attitude or my psychological behavior will be different than if I'm happy or sad. So we are saying that with the psychological fitness, we are not just referring to mad people who are on the street, but we are referring to people who are not mentally and psychologically sound as at the time to operate the motor vehicle. And there are a few things that will make a driver not to be mentally or psychologically sound. When you are so excited, it affects your psychological or your intellectual thinking. 2, when you are angry, it affects you psychologically. When you are sad, it affects you psychologically. So in these situations, when the person is sad, he is not psychologically fit to be able to react to certain situations as they supposed to be. So such a person that day, he should not drive. Let's assume that you hear a very sad news that your dear one passed on. At that moment, psychologically, you will not be sound. The person will not be psychologically sound at that moment. And for that matter, he or she is not supposed to drive. Then we talk of sensory fitness. The sensory fitness simply refers to your sense of feeling, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing. So the vehicle uses this part to communicate to we, the driver. The car loves us so much that he never wants anything to happen to us. Even when there is going to be an accident, the vehicle normally communicates to us. And it communicates to us through all these, our sense of feelings, our sense of smell, our sense of hearing. For example, when the vehicle is going to catch a fire, or there is going to be a fire outbreak in the vehicle, it is through your sense of what? Smell. When you bought somebody's car, you hear the smell of petrol in the car. That tells you that there is a possibility of what? Explosion or fire outbreak. People will tell you, yes, it is overflowed. It may be overflowed. It may not be overflowed, but it may also be a leakage. So the vehicle have a various way of communicating to us. And it communicates to us through our fitness, through our physical fitness, through our psychological fitness, through our sensory fitness. Especially when we come to the manual car, when you are going to be the operator of the manual car, especially when you are lifting your leg from the clutch little by little to the biting point, it is your senses that make you feel the vibration, and then the sound will also changes to tell you that you have reached the biting point, which is the half clutch. There, the handbrake will come down, then the foot brake, the car will take motion. We'll soon come to how to start a car, how to move a car. But today we are looking at the physical fitness. So if the driver is not physically, mentally, psychologically fit, when the vehicle is communicating to you, it will be difficult for you to understand. So because of this, DVLA has made it a requirement that before you can get your license, you need to come for physical examination. They need to look at you from the top to down, look at your Ghana card, look at you physically, whether you are a person with disability or you are physically fit. Then they test your hearing, sometimes mention your name to see whether you respond. Then after that, then you need to go for another physical examination, which is very, very important. That is your eyes. They are all under what? Physical examination to test you before making you to sit behind the steering wheel. So with that aspect, you need to go for the eye test. And after the eye test, to confirm that your eyes are clear, you can see very well without any challenges. But it doesn't mean that if the person cannot see properly, and the medical doctor will advise him, or the eye clinic center will advise him or her to get a lens or glass, and they will determine when he should drive and when he should not drive. But it doesn't mean that when the person is having a little bit problem or using a lens or glasses cannot be able to drive. He will be able to drive, but only on his lenses we will indicate on it. Only on his lenses like this. On his, we will indicate on it at the top there that he's using glass. You see a spectacles there. That means that he's using what? A lens. Either they will place it here or they can place it here. And wherever they place it, like a small spectacles, that means that the person cannot drive without using his glasses or lens. And how did they determine that? It was through your physical examination that they were able to determine that the person, the driver, have a challenge with his eyes. And for that matter, he drive with seeing aids, which is the glasses. So that is what we mean by physical fitness. So to my colleagues drivers and learners drivers on the street, it is always advisable before you do your routine check, first of all, do yourself physically routine checks by checking yourself whether you are physically, mentally, psychologically fit before you get behind the steering wheel. If you check yourself and you are not physically, mentally, psychologically fit and sensory fit, then that day, park the car and join commercial vehicle to your destination to be able to save your life, save other people's life, as well as properties around. Thank you very much. This end of the same part one subtopic of driver's attitude.